This video is about something you've never been taught at school, college or university. Something so horrendous that the history of it has been hidden for thousands of years. This is the most recent major cataclysm that befell our planet, and none of you have ever been told about it. Total horror crashed from the skies across the face of the Earth over a 3,000-year period, possibly shorter. The face of the planet changed completely and vast numbers of animals became extinct. This included the woolly mammoth amongst others. Recently, there have been numerous books about one massive comet or one massive meteorite causing global destruction between 10 and 12,000 years ago. It was not only one comet or one meteorite. It was a massive swarm of them. My name is George Mitrovic, and I'm an author and researcher on a host of strange mysteries, from forbidden archaeology to cosmic disasters to wormholes. I like attacking current incorrect paradigms that are being promoted by entrenched groups of academics. This is one of my books, The Comets and Meteors That Ended the Last Ice Age. This book is about the last cataclysm from 10,900 BC to 8,000 BC. It is a listing of events from 20,000 BC to 6,200 BC. This book proves that cometary and meteor bombardments in this period almost destroyed all life on this planet. These impacts changed our world completely. Another book of mine is When the Sky Crashed Down. This book lists a host of meteorite and cometary impacts throughout the history of the Earth. The last cataclysm was not a one-off. There have been numerous cataclysms. In this book you'll see that meteorites and comets bring life, and they also end life. This is all listed in this book. It shows that the great mass extinctions were caused by cosmic collisions. Some of these collisions almost ended life on Earth completely. Others brought life, but that is not the scope of this book. Now we get to aerial maps. Dry and boring, you think? Maps can reveal amazing things. This is a large aerial view of Brazil around 10,900 BC. Each yellow marker indicates a meteoric impact leaving a crater more than 1 kilometre in size. Blue circles are much larger craters. There are many more smaller unrecorded ones. This was a major impact stream. In this next slide, we get a closer look at these Brazilian impacts. We're seeing the streams of impacts. They are phenomenal, but they are nothing compared to what was to come. They were only the entree to the main course. They were the beginning to the end. Geological dating is a strange thing. It always has leeway. A few thousand years here, a few thousand years there. In some cases, millions of years. During the last cataclysm, this might have only been over 3,000 years, if not less. I will let the picture do the talking. The large circles are the radiuses of impact craters. Do you see the size of that thing? This is the Bermuda impact crater. Kelly and Dashiell proposed that this crater has a diameter of 2,250 kilometres or 1,398 miles. The Bermuda crater is dated around 10,000 BC. Not that far from 10,900 BC geologically speaking. Many scientists and academics deny its existence, as they do. They have their jobs to protect. The islands of Bermuda apparently have a central impact structures. What is a central impact structure? A central impact structure is when magma released by the meteoric impact bursts forth from the Earth. As it falls back after erupting, it becomes a series of peaks at the centre of the crater as it solidifies. An interesting theory? Incidentally, the light blue patches around the land masses are the continental shelves. Anything unusual about that? These were the original pre-cataclysmic shorelines before the end of glaciation. world sea levels suddenly rose around 300 feet as the ice caps rapidly melted as the meteors crashed through them. Here is an aerial photo from the 1930s of the Carolina Bays when they were first discovered. These are elliptical, averaging half a mile in diameter, with elevated rims and depressions 25 to 50 feet deep. The northwestern ends have low rims and the southwestern ends are higher, as if something skidded at an angle into them. But what? There's nothing there. No, Mollymook's south coast. Here we have the Bermuda crater again, this time on our left. Interestingly enough, there are several very large impacts from the same period. Is this coincidence? These impacts are in a row heading northwest from the Bermuda impact. How much damage could these impacts cause? Much of North America was covered in thousands of miles of glacial ice, up to 2 miles thick. The Hudson Bay impact would have made short work of that. Incidentally, this was the position of the North Pole in this period, before it moved to its current location. Are these smaller impacts other meteorites from the same period, or parts of a Bermuda impact meteorite? Imagine the Earth turning to the east, and the first impact hitting Bermuda, and then the rest of the stream heading to the northwest, with larger fragments falling next, and then the finer and smaller fragments from the impacts falling last. Or were these all parts of a large cometary or meteoric swarm? Incidentally, modern science, I don't disregard all of it, has shown that comets and certain large meteorites are actually large accumulations of frozen mud and stone held together by their own gravity, especially so in comets, which also carry water ice. These would fragment very well. This water ice could explain one of the other major mysteries, mainly the Carolina Bays from the same period. Remember the fragmenting glacial ice masses and the Hudson Bay impact? Right in the middle. They would have been thrown incredibly high, and wherever had not melted would have come crashing down at a low trajectory. And being ice, leaving no evidence, flying and crashing icebergs had possibly created the Carolina Bays. To add to the mystery, at the same distance of the Carolina Bays, which are from North Carolina to Florida, across North America, there are the same elliptical bays in an arc centering on Hudson Bay. In Nebraska, these are called wallows. They are all facing away from Hudson Bay, and there are thousands of them. The little yellow markers to the right of your map here are Russian impact craters. These are dated as happening between 8 and 9,000 years ago. Is our dating wrong? As usual, I only show craters 1 kilometre or more in size. Is the curved line of impacts that started in Bermuda and heading over the Arctic being continued into northern Europe and then fracturing completely over Russia? Or are they all just different sized meteorites hitting the Earth in the same period? And lots of them, all in the same row, which on the surface of the Earth would appear curved. Could this be 3 impact events over 3,000 years, or one massive event? What are the odds that they would occur on the same great curve around the Earth? Practically nil. The events were actually over one very short period. Here is another closer view of the same impacts. Were there 2 detritus streams from the primary Bermuda impact? Of course, don't forget that though we're asking about different types of impact streams, we better not forget that there were lots of these, yet none of us have ever been told about them. To continue with the theory of impact streams, here is a view of the Aral crater at the bottom of the screen. At the top of the screen is Lake Saimaa in Finland, and in between are the Russian impact craters. Funny how they are all in the same line from the Aral crater to Lake Saimaa in Finland. This indeed is an impact stream. Here is another view. The Bermuda crater, the impacts, the Russian impacts, the North American impacts, and the Aral Sea impacts all seem to be in the same one line. Just out of curiosity, this is called an impact stream. Many scientists say that they do not exist, or at least on Earth. Well, they did until the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 impacted into Jupiter in July 1994. This was after breaking up in July 1992. Incidentally, some of these fragments were the size of the Earth. This is a teardrop. Scientists say they don't exist on Earth. Yes, they do. We are looking at one. The Earth certainly did cry in this period. What is the point of this video and these books? These cosmic events are cyclic. There will always be another one as long as the Earth exists. We are in a cosmic pinball gallery. What we need to do is convince our governments to keep a better eye on the sky to detect these celestial objects when they are further away. We know where they come from in most cases. From orbits around the Sun, from Jupiter and Saturn, for short-period comets, from the Oort cloud, which is well past Pluto, for long-period comets, and from the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter for meteorites and others. Then we have a better chance of deflecting them or destroying them before they strike us, because the next series of impacts might well be our last. If you still don't think these impact events are repetitive, ask the two dinosaurs in this picture what they thought. Thank you.